Jennifer from Cultaholic, and welcome to This Week in Wrestling. And joining me today is Jack and Adam.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
Good to be here.
Good.
You've changed.
I have changed. You've not.
No, I haven't. They know we do these in one day.
I make an effort though.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I try.
When we used to do them one every day, you'd bring like 7 outfit changes so
right?
people didn't think you were a proper smelly bastard.
No, but then they still went nuts when that blooming Bart Simpson jumper, which I have not worn since.
Oh, really?
I've not worn it since.
It did smell bad.
Adam,
What happened this week in wrestling, Jen?
I don't know how to do this.
Still hungover?
Very much so.
2 weeks on?
2 weeks. Yep, the hangover is real. However, we will go to October the 8th, as that is today.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's a good idea.
So, but we'll go to October 8th and we will go to 2001. And we'll go to Raw. And this is when Austin becomes the 6th-time WWF champion, which is huge.
Yes, that is big.
Huge deal. At this time, he was tying with The Rock, who was the only other person who was
So
a
it was
6-time.
5 and 5, and then Austin beat him with this one.
No.
become 6.
It was Rock not 6 already?
Yeah, and then Austin
Rock,
levelled him.
Sorry.
Austin levelled,
Yeah.
and then Rock would then go on
Gotcha.
again
Yeah.
one more, because that was right. Yeah, he was just 7. Anyway, but this was like huge. So yeah,
It's weird, like, looking back on how many big title changes there were on Raw. We don't really get that anymore,
No.
not big ones.
well, that's what I was thinking, because like it was Austin and Angle for this, because Angle was the champ at the time, and then Austin would beat him, and Angle had only won it. Was it Survivor Series like literally like 2 weeks before or something? Like
Yeah,
it was
it's
very
recent.
short. It was very short. But yeah, like you don't really.
It does happen occasionally, but it's
The last one I
a
can
lot
remember
rarer.
was Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
When he
of
beat
course.
Sheamus. Or AJ on SmackDown in England.
Yes.
But it's fewer, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
less,
absolutely.
It's more sparse.
And it comes down to that sort of unpredictability thing again that we talk about quite a
Yeah.
lot, and that it seems sort of less important to watch the weekly shows, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, I don't beat myself up if I miss a Raw
No.
or a SmackDown. Like I really don't, as long as I see like pay-per-views and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
And especially in the internet age when you can go on and you can see the highlights
Yeah.
immediately. Obviously back then that wasn't a thing, so you really had to tune in.
yeah.
But now
Plus
we
there
don't.
was better storylines and more shenanigans and, you know, more exciting stuff, really. But don't
this
get me
would have
wrong, I
been-
still love it.
This would have been a sad result. Because if I'm right, this would have been during the invasion angle when Austin was a heel and Angle was a babyface. Have I got this
Yeah,
right? I think
2001.
so.
Yep.
So that would have been, at the time, everyone might have been like, ugh. They wouldn't have been happy that Austin became a 6-time champion.
Yeah,
Although it's still Austin, isn't it?
still
No matter
Austin,
whether you-
and I'm sorry, but it was still like Kurt Angle. 2001 Kurt Angle. But that would have been, I don't know, man, the days. But yeah, huge thing. And like I say, like it was tie him with The Rock for this. And then Rock would go on 2002 to be the 7th time.
Yes,
So
won it in July.
took him over.
And then he won it again. Actually, The Rock. I've just
Did he?
thought.
I thought it was just 7.
No, he won it off CM Punk years and years later.
Of course.
Mm.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's all right. I only just remembered it there. I was like,
There
oh,
you
yeah.
go. Facts. So yeah, that was Raw in 2001. Staying with October the 8th, we'll go to 2005. Now, this is huge because I know the story behind this more than I know like do you know the fallout of
Right,
what happened
okay.
more than I know anything about this time. But this is Brock Lesnar won the IWGP heavyweight title.
The big New
In
Japan
Japan.
belt, yeah.
Yeah. So he went over, and it was a 3-way. It was Lesnar, Fujita, and
Chono,
yeah, Chono,
yeah.
So yeah, and it was his debut, wasn't it? He won the belt on his debut.
So, didn't this get him in a bit of trouble?
Well, no, not this
Okay,
match. So this
right.
was actually the winning of it, but it's the story of then he like runs away with the belt. That's all I know.
Okay, right.
About really.
I thought, oh, right, I see. It says
know
in
what
the
I mean?
notes here, yeah, that it was a dispute with management that forced them to strip him of the title. Because this was during Lesnar's like wilderness years where he left WWE.
Yeah.
Did he want to do football, American football? Did he tried a bit of everything? And he is still the only man to hold the WWE Championship, the IWGP, and the UFC Heavyweight Championship as well. Those are 3 big things.
I think,
Very big.
One of them's
3
really
top
different,
thing,
but at the same time, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, I can't see
and
anybody else doing it.
One of only 2 men to marry Sable as well, so that's also big. I think, was Miro her first husband?
They were married, yeah.
Yeah, but was that her first husband?
I don't know, actually.
that's fair enough.
Let us know in the comments.
Who knows? But yeah, so this, that was the win for Brock Lesnar.
This was during a time. It's weird to think because this was during a time. If that happened these days, it would be the biggest wrestling story ever. But back then, New Japan were kind of in their dark ages, so it wasn't that like.
Well, like the whole thing was now. It's no secret. I don't really know Japanese wrestling and stuff like that. But who was it that was like exiled by New Japan, like the president Inoki, right? And then he made Brock Lesnar his first champion. Is that right?
There's something going on. I'm
really
not too clear on it because this is like we need Sam here.
Yeah,
he knows his New Japan history more than I do. But basically, this was during a time when New Japan was trying to be strong style. It was trying to be MMA. It was trying to be legit and seem really tough and stuff. So I guess even though it was before his UFC career, bringing Lesnar, this massive, monstrous, realistic looking guy. It would have made a lot of sense, but I just don't think Lesnar's head was in it for the long term. It wasn't really something he seemed to want to...
No.
At the time, Lesnar didn't really... I think he really wanted to be an American football player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that didn't pan out.
No, it did not.
Never mind.
Still, though, congratulations. Okay, we'll move on to October the 9th, 2006. And this is huge. This was the debut of Kurt Angle on TNA, which was massive. And I actually watched it back when I was coming down, and just how huge that felt. Like the pop is wild.
Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely
People
wild.
knew he was coming. They'd announced
They'd announced it like a couple of weeks before that he was coming, but this was it. You were kind of just waiting on him. So there was basically it was a segment with Samoa Joe in the ring with the NWA belt.
Yep.
And so he's got that. And what is it? He's not giving it back.
Yeah, he's refusing to give it back.
He's refusing to give it back.
Who could possibly make him give it back? Yeah.
Enter from under the stage, Kurt Angle. And the pop was massive.
Yeah.
It was huge.
And then he nutted him.
I burst him open.
Which is proper, like, this isn't WWE. I'm going to headbutt you. Which I think's effective.
But yeah, no, it was like super. And it just made Kurt Angle look so, like... I mean, it's Kurt Angle, but it made him look so kind of...
It wasn't cartoony.
No.
Angle. It was
like legit, total badass.
Yeah.
Like, and especially against Samoa Joe. Like,
and then he said to Vince, "You can kiss my Olympic ass."
Yeah.
Olympic ass.
Olympic ass. It is an Olympic ass.
It is.
Oh, that's off topic.
Go on.
Whoa.
I watched a documentary on Netflix this weekend called Foxcatcher.
Have you seen it? About the boxing thing.
No, the wrestling, amateur wrestling.
Sorry, that's it. What did I say, boxing? But yeah, it's the camp. Like
it's
the guy
crazy.
that's got a camp. But
Talk me through this.
So the guy, I think Angle
was
was part of it for a while, but not when all this kicked off. I think he'd already stopped amateur wrestling by this point. But there was a guy called John DuPont who was like a really rich heir from North America, and he set up this training camp in Pennsylvania where all the amateur wrestlers would come and live there. It was like a ranch. There was houses on it and stuff.
It was like a proper...
And one of the best wrestlers who was a wrestler and a coach and stuff was this guy called Dave Schultz. And from the documentary, he seems like the loveliest guy. He seems so nice.
Schultz?
Yeah, Schultz. He seems like a really lovely guy and everything. And then DuPont.
Why do I know that name?
I don't know.
It's quite famous story.
DuPont's going slowly more and more like weird and like paranoid and stuff, and eventually shoots him dead.
Yeah.
Shoots Schultz dead. Yeah. And then the police came and he had a big standoff in his mansion with them for 2 days. Yeah.
Weird.
And he wasn't a good wrestler himself. They used to he used to go into like amateur tournaments and stuff, and they'd like secretly pay off the opponent to lose to him and stuff. It was like kayfabe.
So basically, that was the whole point. Is like, so he was like this, like you say, like heir who really wanted to get involved in amateur wrestling, but just couldn't cut the mustard with it.
Sure.
So that's why he started this, because he wanted to be involved in it so
this
much.
Isn't David Schultz that hit the reporter, is it?
I don't know.
Someone else.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He seems like a really nice guy on there.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a movie as well.
No, he had very little hair. He was losing his hair.
But it's a movie as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, Channing Tatum's in it and stuff. Yeah.
So I'll have to
and
check that out.
Mark Ruffalo plays Dave Schultz.
Yeah.
And the bloke from The American Office plays John DuPont. Steve Carell.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll have to see that.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen the film. I've seen the documentary.
Cool.
Anyway, sorry about that. But it is very
But
interesting.
it is good, yeah.
And Kurt Angle was apparently part of that scene a little bit because it was in Pittsburgh. It was near Pittsburgh, where he's from.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And obviously amateur wrestling.
Yes.
So there you go. It was relevant, and thanks for sharing.
That's all right.
But yeah, so this was this was awesome. And then Jarrett would come out, take his belt. WWE runner.
Yeah, that's very Jarrett behaviour,
I know,
isn't
but I
it?
loved it because everyone was like, "Woo!" But then everyone was like, "Oh, but look at this!" Like them, and it was like a big brawl. They were like scrapping outside. And
Didn't get to speak to Jeff
I
at the
did.
Manchester Media Con.
We had a good
Did you
chat.
not?
Did you?
Yeah, about music to come out to and run times of shows and.
yeah, I'll see every time he walks past me, he just goes perfect because he just thinks that I say perfect all the time.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
he's like, which I don't think I do.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't think I've ever.
But
heard you
he's
say
like picked up
perfect.
on that, and every time he walks past me, he just goes perfect, and I'm like,
Well, you
"Thanks."
He was a really nice guy.
He's
Oh.
Seemed
honestly
really, really nice.
legit one of my favourite people I've
What a-
ever met.
what a
and
southern gent.
I never thought. And he was so nice. And he's just
charming.
like, he is so charming.
Really
But
charming.
you can see it's like, he can work.
Oh, he's so on it.
What could he have possibly been thinking watching us and Wrestle the Talk on stage?
He was just thinking, I wish I was up there.
No, he
I wish
wasn't.
I was running a successful
was.
At the
YouTube
end when
channel.
you went, this is what wrestling's all about. After we've just seen Wrestle Talk go around on segways.
Here, but the fact that like women
Liger was
was
loving
like
it.
that,
Yeah.
this is what wrestling's about. I was,
It was great.
dying
It
at
was
that.
great.
It
They
was
did.
so good.
Wrestle Talk did very well.
They
Oh,
did
they
so
nailed
good.
it. Fair
Yeah.
play to
They
him.
fair
did
play.
so good.
Yeah.
I loved that. They're really nice boys. I'm glad.
Well,
Yeah, they're good
well,
lads.
let's not go too far.
No, they are
I
good
really
lads.
liked
They
them.
are.
I
Laurie
really-
Blake, especially, big fan of.
Ooh,
El Fakador.
you've singled one
Uh-huh.
out.
Yeah, no, I like all of them. Luke's lovely as well.
But
So's Ollie. They're all nice. They're all nice lads.
oh, yeah, I'm glad we're all pals. So, the 10th of October, 1999. Right, I knew nothing about this
This is
until I read
fantastic.
it.
This is some of the.
But this is, like, wild.
This is arguably my favourite wrestling show ever.
Oh,
this is
agree.
one of the worst wrestling shows
Right,
ever.
so basically, we're going to Heroes of Wrestling.
How?
Which,
Matthew needs to be here. This is his bread and butter.
well, totally. But it's like, it's nuts to think how bad this was when you see who's, like, on it. Like, it's
No, it's not. Because
well, no,
think
maybe
about
not
the
at
year.
the time. I know, maybe not at the time. Right,
Can we run down the card? Because
Yeah.
one of these matches got -5 stars.
-5, which is like one of only 3 in
-5
history.
stars.
Yeah,
or
I think it's the
something.
first one to get it. It was.
Was it the first?
I think so.
But like, no, it was, what was it, like every match in this, like not a single one scored more than like 1.5 or something.
So bad. I've watched this probably 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Have you? I've
Most
not
of them-
watched it.
More
I've
than
never watched
most
it in full.
WWE. Oh, it's all on YouTube for free illegally. Go and
Oh,
watch
is
it on
that?
YouTube for free illegally. Because it's so. There's some
Where's-
very sad moments, but there are also some
Yeah,
very
it's
funny
super
moments.
sad. But like, okay, let's go through it. Or should we? Or we could talk about who is Bill Stone, the creator of this.
It's
So this
just
was
some
a
guy who I
one-off
think
thing.
tried to get into wrestling.
Was
I
it
don't
like-
know much about
He was
Bill
like a
Stone, to be honest.
sports
I was
manager.
about to make a comparison there. Was it like the 5-star wrestling of America?
No, this was way more funny.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, yeah. So there was one time only thing, but yeah. So the card. Okay, let's go through it. So we would have the Samoan SWAT team against Marty Jannetty and Tommy Rogers.
Mm.
The famous team of Martin Jannetty and Tommy Rogers. The real Rockers. if you
yeah,
will.
the original Rocker.
We had Greg Valentine against George the Animal Steel.
You know
Classic
what?
WrestleMania 1 sort of match,
Yeah,
that, isn't it?
it
Yeah.
really
But
is.
was this not the whole point of it? Because obviously, like, wrestling had gone on to like the Attitude Era, and it was all that
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on just now. The whole point of this was to bring back old
Yes.
stars, and
But the old stars that they chose perhaps weren't in the best shape.
I know.
Except for Greg Valentine, who has
I was
looked
gonna say-
about 65 for the entirety of
I'm
his
sorry.
career.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, please.
He's one of the saddest looking, like not saddest as in, oh, that's a shame. Saddest as in, like, angry to be there wrestlers I've ever seen at a convention.
Proper
He just sat there like,
like... He's brilliant. He's miserable.
guess I'm not going to go and talk to Greg the Hammer. Stay here.
Oh, bless. Who else was there? Too Cold Scorpio against
Julio Fantastico.
Wow.
The
1.25
Bushwhackers.
stars. Julio Fantastico was good as well.
Sorry, I think we should read this bit for that 2 Code Scorpio Julio Fantastica bit. At 1.25 stars out of 5, this is what you were saying.
Oh, this was
this
all
was
you.
the best rated match on the show by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and one of only 2 matches to get a positive rating. The other was the opener, and that was half a star. Are you alright?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So bad. Oh,
I
dear.
love this.
So the Bushwhackers against the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
Classic tag teams.
It was. Tully Blanchard.
That wasn't sarcastic. Like genuinely
No,
2 classic
my
tag teams.
God.
Yeah,
How did it
absolutely.
go?
I've been licked by both of the Bushwhackers.
No.
No chance.
Yeah, right. Well,
Actually.
the
How
Ventnor
horrible.
Winter Gardens
Don't sound
in
thrilled for it.
I
1995,
think that's exciting. You were a
maybe.
child.
Yes, it wasn't recent.
I know. I was like, that's weird. What the hell? Like,
Yeah, I was there. No, One of them was there, Bushwhacker Luke, but they were left in a really unfortunate position where Bushwhacker Luke could still wrestle and Butch was in, I think, declining health and couldn't do it anymore. So Luke on his own, you don't really pay to see the Bushwhacker.
No.
And he came out and he gave me a big lick, but I've definitely been licked by Butch as well before that.
Just on a date.
I love it. It's not even at
maybe.
the same time. It's just like, I love that. I think that's a very fun story. I like that.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Where did we get to? Abdullah the Butcher.
No, we need to talk about that match a
And
little
the
bit
one
first.
man thing. Oh,
We just need to talk about the Bushwhackers one because
right.
that was the -5-star rated
Oh
match.
yeah, sorry that. Yeah.
Just one of 5 bouts apparently to earn the distinction.
Oh, 5 was it?
Wow. Well, I can only think of one off the top of my head apart from that, and that's Sharmell versus Jenna Maraska.
Oh right, aye,
yeah.
but that absolute
The
botch.
little
one.
slaps and stuff, yeah.
So yeah, that Abdullah Butcher and the One Man Gang, Jimmy Snuka against Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. and then Jim Neidhart and King Kong Bundy against Jake the Snake and Yokozuna.
Oh no.
This is-
Oh
go
no.
on.
I know what
No,
this
'cause
is
this-
now.
This
That
is the
was
famous,
when-
you want to play 21?
When we
I got
mentioned
22.
when we mentioned Heroes of Wrestling, I knew there was a thing. I was like, you know, that Peep Show episode where he's like, "What's the thing?" When he's trying to think what he did the night before.
Yeah.
And I was like, "There's a
Smoking
thing."
the cigarettes with the baguette.
Yeah. No, that's not the thing. But I remember when you said Heroes of Wrestling, I was like, "There's a thing," but I can't remember what it is.
There were a
It's-
few things.
was
But it's Jake the Snake. I'm thinking of.
So-
It was, yeah.
At some point, a woman in the crowd sort of oils up Jake the Snake and rubs his chest down.
Hot.
At the end, Jake reveals Damien, his snake. I think it was Damien at this time, in a very, very phallic manner.
Yeah.
So the snake is between his legs like a penis. Cock. And
The penis cock.
he's stroking it
Oh,
as
Adam!
if you would a cock, because obviously snakes and cocks look similar.
They're in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So he did that, which isn't something he did during his WWF days, and maybe that's the
ballpark.
reason that he never held a championship. You know, that could have been
Yeah.
the thing. I think it's
Yeah.
got over pretty big here. Yokozuna wasn't looking great at this time either.
Do you like Yokozuna?
I really like Yokozuna. Really like Yokozuna. I know, but it's another one I was really lucky enough to see him
did you?
very shortly before he died.
Oh, really?
Um,
On that,
and-
no, it wasn't on that tour that you'd been in the Indies tour, was
yeah,
it?
it was the last one that he did. Saw him at Ride
you saw
Ice
him
Arena.
there?
Yeah, I saw him at that, and I couldn't quite believe how big he was.
Right, see, like, what, like, I know he was big, but, like...
Well, apparently he
in-
was 700 pounds when he died.
Jesus.
Was he?
Yeah,
That much?
which is big. But I remember him making his entrance, and there were a set of double doors, and he had to sort of step sideways to get through those double doors. And it's really difficult to
Yikes.
think, like, because I was so young, hey, maybe he was just a big guy, but I was a kid, so
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
just...
so he's always
he
gonna
was
be
just a
bigger
big
to you.
But he was big.
Whoa.
Big.
That's why, that's nice that you
Yeah.
saw him, well, like, shame it was on that, but...
Yeah. So this was quite a sad thing, really, because Jake obviously wasn't in a very good place around this time, and that was clear. And it's very easy to look back and laugh, as we sort of have done here. But you know, at least he's in a great place now.
Yeah, fair
and
play.
I think that's the nicest part of it, the fact that he's totally come through from it. I actually rewatched the documentary like the other
Oh, it's a
couple of weeks.
fantastic
So I was
documentary.
showing somebody like who's not like a big wrestling fan and stuff, and it was just to show how like inspiring it all was.
Yeah.
And they were totally like blown away by it. Like
You know what I watched the other day? His return to, it was one of the Raw anniversary shows or a retro Raw or something like that. And he came out, the Shield are in the ring when the Shield were heels. And
Oh.
he came out, CM Punk, Ryback, and someone else laid out the Shield. And then Jake gets the snake out of the bag, puts it on Dean Ambrose. There's
Yeah.
a fair amount of what I think is snake poo, like around the area. There's just this white stuff that's
Okay.
covering out. And Ambrose marking out completely.
I was gonna say,
just
does
there,
he
like-
not just like this is it? Like oh, that's amazing.
He's so happy about it.
bless him.
Yeah, it was lovely. Maybe it's because he's covered in
Is
poo.
Ambrose more? Is he more? I always get confused. Is he more Piper or more Roberts? I can never. Is he a little combination? When he's a heel, he's more Roberts, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say he's more Pillman than anyone else.
Oh, that's a really good shout. Yes.
Yeah, I would
Smart
definitely
points
say
for
that.
you.
Ooh.
The internet. I know. Oh yeah.
Another one that I saw was it was Royal Rumble. I think it was 2008 when Snooker and Piper squared off in the ring, and you can see CM
Punk's
Punk
just start-
marking it. He's just going, "Oh, this is amazing." He's so happy.
Oh,
amazing.
I think that's a deliberate thing. So
Right.
Piper and Snooker are like doing really crap punches. But then Punk sat there and it's like Morrison or someone's next to
Morrison,
him.
yeah.
And they kind of, I think they're deliberately going like, look, like studying it. But
Oh,
like in
right.
character, I think.
No, because I thought Punk looked pissed off because Morrison kicks him and Punk looked pissed off.
he just wants to watch.
yeah, just let me enjoy this moment for a
Right.
bit. Yeah.
That's fair
That's
enough.
funny. But yeah, so Heroes of Wrestling.
Go and watch it because it is a
Watch.
fascinating insight.
No, because I was actually buzzing like Dutch Mantel's on commentary for that.
He's really good.
And I love him.
Yeah, Dutch Mantel's
I miss him
great.
very much. Want him back in WWE.
Yeah, I agree. His run with Swagger was.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
He made it.
Yeah, he did. When he was coming out with the signs.
Love
All
him.
hilarious.
Love him.
Get Swagger back in the WWE. Come on.
Yeah.
Give him the belt. eh?
Yeah.
Okie dokie, so we will go on to the 12th of October to 1992. And this was big. This was
But
Bret
also
Hart.
small.
Yeah, actually. I like it. So this was Bret Hart would win the WWF title at a house show. I know.
What?
Which is, again, what we were talking about all the time.
Rarely
Like,
happens.
Rarely happens.
Won it off Ric Flair.
I know, off
in
Ric
a
Flair.
match
In a really good
that
match.
could have main evented any
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
right.
Yeah.
It was a great match. It's on
Was it?
WWE's official
I've not
YouTube
seen
channel.
it.
You can go and watch
Oh,
it.
is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I've not seen it. But
Yeah, it
like,
was,
I would actually watch it.
I'm trying to think of other times that AJ won MSG, didn't he? Won the US title fairly recently.
Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor at an NXT house show.
Yeah.
For the NXT belt.
Miz and
NXT
Morrison
have
won the
done it
tag
quite
titles.
a few times actually.
Yeah.
Haven't they? I don't know. Could you count as well, like when when Mustache Mountain got the tag belts? No.
Was that on the
At the UK show?
that was
The UK show, yeah. It's
Could you count
televised.
that? No.
The other obvious one is Diesel Bob Backlund, where he won in 6 seconds or something.
after
Just
Backlund?
jackknifed him
Yeah.
and won the WWF title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
weird.
was the last one, was it? No.
Just trying to
For the
think of.
WWF title, as far as I can remember.
No. Anyway.
I'm sure we'll be corrected if not.
But it's cool, like it's nice to see though, because you know it can happen. And I think like a house shows, like if it did happen more often, I don't think it should happen all the time, but I think just like wee freckles off.
I agree, like the
It's
mid-card titles,
exciting.
the tag titles, that sort of
Totally.
thing. I had no problem with those changing on house because it works in WWE's favour because at the moment we go to a house show and we know exactly what we're going to see. Like I'm pretty sure any house show I could predict 90%
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
absolutely.
winners. And anyone could, obviously. Ooh, we should do predictions for those. finally piss and win one. And if they threw that thing in occasionally, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
too often, but
I
especially
just
with the
think-
network being around, and you know they're filming everything, they can release
Well,
that, they can
that's
put that
it.
on Raw.
Exactly, just put it up on WWE.com.
They could have
Yeah.
a TV title, but not a TV title. Like a, I don't know if that's a good idea
House
or
show
not. I
title?
don't know if that's a good idea or
Well, I
not.
kinda like that.
Maybe.
That's what the hardcore title was, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that changed all the
the
time. There were people who
Bring
held the
that
hardcore
back.
title.
I know.
Bring that back.
I
now.
would love it back.
Immediately now.
Please. We'll move on and we'll stay with the 12th though, but we'll go to 2008.
Oh no.
Why oh no?
I've never seen what you're about to talk
Have
about.
you not?
Nah,
Oh,
no.
Jack,
But go on,
it's
go on,
so
go on.
good. It's so good. So this is, a wee bit out there because it's a film debut, but it's of the wrestler that Mickey Rourke.
Mickey
Yeah,
Rourke,
Rourke,
yeah.
I never think I say it right. But yeah, the wrestler, which is unreal.
It's the best wrestling film ever made. By a mile. It's so good.
So
It's
good.
so good. Who's in it from the world of wrestling? Ernest the Cat Miller is there. There were people backstage. I'm trying to think who
There
was
is-
there.
Necro
there
Butcher.
Necro
I've
Butcher
heard
was
that.
there
I've
because
not
it's
seen
all
it,
Ring
but
of
I've
Honor
heard it.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just this brilliant. It's difficult to call
It's
it
heartbreaking,
accurate.
man.
Yeah,
It's
right. Because like
heartbreaking.
the relationship he has with his daughter aside, there are such parallels to guys who have been doing
like,
this forever, like Funk.
Apparently it's
Well,
realistic.
that's it. Like
Oh,
Terry
yeah.
Funk, Jake the Snake,
Yeah.
like all of that. I mean, I see so much of Jake in that
Oh yeah.
movie. Like, that's where they've got a lot of inspiration. But like, loads of like indie guys, and it just shows like the absolute struggle of like indie wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now.
Or guys who used to be big.
Yeah.
Who there are lots of guys who used to be main
Huge.
eventing shows who are now broke and still have to do this stuff. There are wrestlers
And
who are
putting
in there.
themselves through absolute hell.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, their bodies just can't deal with it, and obviously all the kind of substance abuse issues,
Yeah.
and it's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's
It really is.
heartbreaking. If you've not seen it, like, go and like, you should really watch it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that is your homework.
Right.
What I really liked about this is that to all of the people who don't like wrestling, for whatever reason, they were sort of given a glimpse into how taxing wrestling really is in a fairly realistic way. I've got like there are people who
That's
you show
it.
wrestling to, it's like, oh, it's fake, isn't it? Why would you
Yeah.
watch this? But then they watch that and it's like, oh, okay, they're
Actually hurt
yeah, sure,
themselves.
it's predetermined, whatever, it's fake. but they're human beings, and it's
And
actually
it still
really
hurts.
painful.
Exactly.
See Joe Rogan. So he's done a podcast before where he's laughed at wrestling and laughed at submissions and stuff and gone, well, that would never happen. That doesn't cause pain or anything like that. Because he's an MMA expert. He knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he did a recent one opposite, his guest was DDP.
Okay.
And he totally changed his tune. He's like, yeah, you can see that it's really taxing and stuff. And I was like, Joe Rogan, you're just scared of DDP, are you? Yeah. But I like Joe Rogan.
There are so many people, when you show wrestling to people who are unfamiliar, or even like they might have seen a little bit as a kid, and it's really frustrating that the first thing they still go to is like, this is fake, why would you watch it?
You watch Game of Thrones, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
There's
It's the same
dragons
with
in that.
anything. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just a soap opera.
Yeah.
Really.
Of course it is.
But
Yeah.
it's exactly, but I just don't, you're right, why people can't get their head
Mama's,
around it.
Mama's been loving World of Sport.
How good is it? World
She likes
Sport's
Coronation
great.
Street. And she said it's just the same.
Totally.
She loves
I can
Grader.
totally
She
see
loves
it.
Grader.
Is she
Who
a Crater
doesn't?
fan?
Nah, she doesn't like Crater, but she likes that he beat up, I think, because I told her that Liam had pushed me over at North,
Yeah.
Liam Slater,
Oh.
and he beat Liam up, and she was like, good.
She was like, good.
Oh, really?
Like, she
Avenged
she
you.
still doesn't like Ospreay. 'Cause he kicked
Really?
me.
Oh,
Oh, because he
so
kicked you.
funny.
Sorry, right.
She doesn't like anyone who's like done a move on me. She hates them.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's
Her least
fun.
favourite was Big Damo, because not only did he do a move on me, but he's like big and hairy, and she was like, oh no.
Dirty.
Probably the nicest guy in
Yeah.
wrestling as
Yeah,
well.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's sweet. I'm
So
glad
yeah,
to
but yeah, it's the point that like,
that
Yeah.
some people do kind of understand it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just one of these things where people just want to belittle
Mm.
people
Yeah.
to make themselves feel better.
There's that quote which I love, which has been attributed to like 50 different people. I've heard it from Vince McMahon, I've heard it from Jeff Jarrett, and it's basically, if you don't immediately recognise the beauty of pro wrestling, you never will. And that's always how I try and look at it. When you introduce or try to introduce wrestling to a non-fan, it's like, if they don't get this straight away,
Yeah,
they're not
they're
going to
never
ever be
gonna-
into it. And that's fine.
That is actually so true.
It's just, I wish that people wouldn't. It's that sort of arrogance of people. Oh, I'm really
But
getting on a
that's-
soapbox here.
no,
But it's
but
the arrogance
go
of people
for it.
where like they don't understand why you'd watch it. And worse, it's like, you know this is fake, right? Yes.
I know.
Yes, I talk about it for 50 pissing hours a week.
I
It's
know.
my limit.
It's just like,
yeah, I
is
know.
it?
Yeah, it's
Like,
just still fun.
No, it is. It is fun, and I love this.
Yeah. So I like stuff that that brings wrestling into mainstream culture in a positive way.
Definitely, and I think it's always interesting as well. I think with like even with fans and stuff, like to see the kind of, you know, the other side to it, like behind the curtain, to see it. Like I think everybody's always got that curiosity as to what goes on, and I think a lot of people don't, like even like big wrestling fans don't
I
see
can give a peek behind the curtain. It all smells of protein and farts.
Tiger
Yeah.
Balm.
Backstage, and yeah,
Yeah, it's Tiger Balm. Yeah.
So nice, I love it.
Do you like
I
Tiger Balm?
love it. Like I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. Do you know, always wear it? Joe Coffey always wears it, and he had like a cinnamon one, and he smelled like
Ooh.
Christmas the other Sunday.
Where do you put
It's
Tiger
nice.
Balm?
I
Like,
think
do-
it, on
oh,
everywhere.
Oh, okay.
I
fair
think
enough.
no. I think like it's a muscle thing. So,
Oh, right, okay.
So like they're just always covered in it.
Yeah.
But he had like a cinnamon scented one, and he
Lovely.
did smell like Christmas. It was so nice.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I watched a thing the other day. What was it? It was some morning show. It was a British morning show, and they were talking about World of Sport. And they actually asked the wrestlers, "Oh, so this isn't real, is it?" I was like, "I don't, you know." They have to field that question all the time.
was
But
gonna
isn't it
say-
such a shame that most of the time when mainstream wrestling picks up on wrestling, it always does go.
Does go there.
to
Yeah,
that.
it's always the question. Like it is, you're right. It is always the first question that people hit out with. And I suppose, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with the fact that, like, you know, the industry at first, like before, it was so like a close guarded
Yeah.
thing. Like kayfabe was like a thing. Like, it was a dead secret society almost. That people are kind of, you know, when it all came out, I don't know. Like,
It's going to take a long time to get over that, isn't it?
yeah, I don't know if it ever will,
No, perhaps not. Perhaps not.
and I don't care. So we'll go. Oh my goodness, still in the 12. Loads and loads happening. So, oh Jack, oh you'll
This
like
is the reason I wrote this one, by the way. This is why I put this is why I put this one
To
in.
be fair, I did wonder when I was reading it. I was like, didn't realize.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. It's an interesting one because of the
It's
names
interesting.
involved.
Yeah. But
Because
July,
of the names involved.
July the 12th, 2009. Calm yourself, Jack. Melina returns.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
My friend.
Friends.
My DM
DM friends.
For anyone who missed that episode, nothing untoward happened in the DMs with Melina. We just had a bit of a chat and then she blanked me.
I was going to say that she pied you.
But you know.
So let's run down exactly what happened.
Yes, like Jack, would you like to?
No, in the return. All right, yeah, cool, yeah.
Ah.
So
you don't even need notes. Put them down.
No, I do, because I don't
You know
remember. I don't
exactly
remember
what
this at all. Live from, what does that say? Raw from Indianapolis, Indiana. Jillian Hall defeated Mickie James in just 76 seconds to win the Divas Championship. How?
Which is a
How did
disgrace,
How did
isn't it? I don't.
There must have been some shenanigans going on there, because you can't realistically book that. She would lose the title less than 5 minutes later when guest host Nancy O'Dell. You've really shoehorned this in, haven't you? Ordered a match against the returning Melina.
Big pop.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
Melina would defeat Jillian in just 26 seconds to win the Divas Championship. Well done, Melina.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge news, and we'll all remember where we were.
Well done, Perez, mate. Good job. It's her last name.
Is that a real last name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was like that. Look at you.
So can we get an update?
Yeah, nothing's happened since.
Is that literally it?
Yeah. I've not been trying the DM since.
Okay. Yeah.
Sad.
There you go.
One day. Okay, so we'll move on from that bombshell to the 13th of October 2006. And there's another film release, which is exciting. Very cultured, this episode. The Marine, the first one.
Never
Are we
seen
on
it.
like 12 or something
I've
now?
never seen The
6 or
Marine
something?
Yeah,
Six.
Becky
I think
Lynch
it's
is in the
6.
new one.
Have you seen the trailer for the new one?
I've not seen the trailer.
It's so
Michaels,
funny.
so good.
they're introducing, like, who's it? Miz Michaels and Becky Lynch. So Miz is like the hero, and so the
Yeah.
Miz, Shawn Michaels, and then Becky Lynch is the bad guy. So she's
that.
there, and there's just a little action spots interspersed, and one of them is just Shawn Michaels going. Becky Lynch is there, and he just goes bang, just nuts. It's so funny.
it.
Do you? It's quite brutal. It's like whoa.
I'm quite into
That
that.
big movie thud. The classic Shawn Michaels headbutt, which is renowned for.
If he kicked it, that'd be better, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Just nuts
that.
a woman. Great.
I like that. I want to watch it. I've never seen any of the Marines,
I
which
was
is
in
weird because it's big Cena.
Speaking of headbutts, I was in a bar last weekend, right?
goodness.
I went to the toilet.
I hate where this is going.
No, it's all right. No one headbutted anyone else.
Okay, I'll
But I went to the toilet upstairs, and there were two like quite drunk lads in. They were like slightly older men than me. One of them was all right. One of them was drunk, and I think he was trying to intimidate me a bit because they were at urinals there. I was at one at the side there, so just stood there doing my business. And he just went loudly. He just went, "What's across the road, mate? Is it like the Slug of Letters or something?" And I'm not from that town, so I was like, "Oh, I don't know, mate." And then he just went, "All right." And then to try and like intimidate me, he just went, bang, just nutted the wall, and I was like,
What?
but I didn't. I was like, cool. Like, I didn't know what to do.
How do you react to
I
that?
don't know. Well, I just washed my hands and left. And then
Was he okay?
Yeah. And then later on downstairs, he just went back and sat with his mates and stuff. And then for some reason, I don't know why, the bouncers came and just chucked him out. And I was like, what have they caught him doing? What's going on?
That sounds like drugs.
It does sound like drugs, yeah. But he seemed, just from like the way, just seemed really drunk. But being drunk wouldn't necessarily make you just headbutt a wall.
Oh no! Did he fall?
No.
You stagger.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah,
not.
you would do, wouldn't you? How hard would you say he hit his head?
Like proper, like.
Gutted
there was
it.
like
I mean, did he look at you afterwards like, yeah, just done that, done that all in you bozo?
He just sort of gave like a lazy smile. He just, and I was like, this is bizarre. It's
Why would you do
crazy.
that?
I wish you'd
Is
been
that
drunk enough to try
thing?
and outdo him.
All right then, come on.
Want to see that? Start sucking
Was
off
he
the
like
tap or something. Yeah.
Turn it on.
I was
Turn it
actually
on.
just about to
Put your knob
ask,
in the hand
was
dryer.
he like,
Whee!
Adam? No, but like, genuine question. Was he like doing the toilet at the same time?
Well, it was when he'd finished. I think he was doing it as well and stuff. I think. Yeah.
Flings piss everywhere.
I was like, that would be really
It was weird.
unhygienic.
And we were the only, me, him, and his mate were the only three people in the toilet.
What
So I
did
was
his
like,
friends say?
he just sort of looked at me and went like, huh.
That's our Benny.
I was like, all right, lads.
Benny the Wallbanger. Jeez, oh, I
It
hope
was
he's
weird.
okay.
I don't. He was a knob.
Oh.
Well, I hope I hope he didn't die, but he got chucked out then. So it's all
Oh
right.
dear.
Yes.
Anyway, The Marine. I'm sure he liked that film.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So, yeah, I might watch one. Sack it.
I might not. It made its money back, which is
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
uncommon for WWE films, I think.
Yeah, well, because it was like a fairly big, well, not big, but like a
Yeah,
big
isn't
like
it?
taking, and then
It's
for,
like their flagship franchise, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I might watch one.
You know what? I'm trying to think of the ones that I've seen. I've seen Knucklehead.
I've not seen any WWE films.
See No Evil?
Oh
the
no,
Kane
I've
one.
got that on DVD,
Have
but I've
you-
not watched it.
Right, okay.
Bring it along next time.
Yeah.
Stick it on in the office.
Oh,
Yeah.
wouldn't we?
No, don't, no, please no.
That'd be nice. We can all have a movie night.
Love
Jammies.
What have I done?
One day, honestly, one day. I love it. Okay, so we do have a couple of deaths this week, sad. So on the 12th, in 1983, we lost the Grand Wizard, who I don't really know.
I'm not
anything
too
about.
familiar with him. I know he managed Mr. Fuji when Mr. Fuji used to wrestle. He had a very distinctive look. And I believe
Yeah, he looked
he
cool.
took the name to piss off the Ku Klux Klan.
Good.
Because they're called... Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
they're
'cause
a bad bunch of lads,
They
those.
are bad. We're not a fan.
We don't advocate those here. Not Cultaholic. Because their senior members are called Grand Wizards.
It just sort of goes without
Is it
saying that we
wizards?
don't advocate.
Is it not? Is it not dragons? I thought they were called dragons.
I think that's a lesser role.
I thought they were
What was
like
that?
grand storytellers. No, that was the bloke. I've gone off track again. You remember the Coney video, Coney 2012?
Yeah, yeah.
But then the bloke behind it turned out to be a bit
Oh, he just had a mental breakdown, didn't he?
of a wrong un.
He was caught waving his willy about.
Yeah,
and-
it was.
Do you not know that?
But he on his website refers to himself as position in his own company as the grand storyteller or something.
Oh,
Everyone was like,
really?
ooh, bit of an oddball.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, good on you, Grand Wizards.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
No, he
Not
did.
good on you, died.
No, sorry.
Yeah. But he was
old.
some age, yeah.
Yeah, so good on him. Another death, sadly, on the 14th, we have Lou Albano.
Oh, what a legend of the business.
Oh, yeah.
Totes.
Yeah.
Um,
You strike me as someone who really likes Lou Albano.
No, you know what? I don't know too much about
Really?
him.
I
I'm
thought
familiar
you'd be
with
like a
obviously the
big-
rock and wrestling stuff,
Yes.
and like being a brilliant promo guy. And I remember being befuddled by the man when I was growing up because he's just like this crazy sort of your granddad.
got
Didn't
things
quite-
on his
Yeah,
face,
just didn't
yeah.
quite know what to make of him. But he was like instrumental in I guess the success of WrestleMania, bringing Cyndi Lauper in, and the whole rock and wrestling connection and all of that. He was the guy. If it wasn't for him,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
He played Mario.
Mario.
He played Super Mario in a live-action Mario film, I think.
Is that
Oh, he
right?
was the voice. That
Oh,
was it. He was
the
the voice in the
cartoon.
cartoons. That
Right,
was it.
sorry.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was the
Right.
voice of Mario. It's me, Mario.
That was
Yeah.
quite good.
Good, that.
Thanks.
Also was in the video for Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yes, as Cyndi
Yeah.
Lauper's father.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah.
Very
Do
cool.
with your
Yeah,
life.
did
yeah.
loads. Did
Yeah.
like as I say, pre rock and wrestling stuff. I don't know much about him, but yeah.
He
So-
managed like the Moon Dogs and like old tag teams like that, but I don't. But apparently was very, very good.
Good on him. We've got birthdays!
Oh my
Some
god.
really good
We've
ones.
got
here.
some
Like
absolute
really good ones.
screamers, like absolute screamers. So
And
if it's
Rikishi.
your birthday, do you know what? And we've also got like so many on the one day, but we do miss out a couple of days, so sorry. So let's crack on. On the 8th, happy 38th birthday to The Miz!
Yeah, Miz is great.
I love him.
He looks 28.
He's a guy
He
who
looks young.
He looks younger than
Yeah.
38, but I'm not 28.
Okay, all right.
he's good looking for his age for
He
sure.
looks
yeah.
amazing.
Great. He's a 10 out of
he's just-
10. Oh.
He's living the best life, isn't he?
If
Yeah.
oh god, he is. And a guy who went what? What?
She's such
No,
a-
he is. He's doing amazing. He's like one of the best heels in the biz.
I thought you meant
He's
something.
got a daughter, Monroe Sky.
Great
You may be
gorgeous.
familiar.
That was one of the worst things I've ever said in a video. By the
That
way.
was the funniest
No, have you
thing.
not heard about it?
Yeah, that you thought it was like
the
a
band.
band. Oh.
the band.
Sounds like an
Like
NXT band.
The
Yeah.
band. Well,
Um,
that could be the name of the band for the Christmas single.
Monroe
Monroe
Sky.
Sky.
We're not
We
naming it
can't
after
name
the
ourselves
Miz's
after
child.
Infant daughter.
No.
Why? It's not offensive.
No, but it's
It's
just a
not
bit weird,
offensive,
isn't
it's
it?
creepy as
yeah,
hell,
it is a bit
Jay.
weird.
Is it?
Imagine if
Yeah.
you had a daughter and then some lads in America were like, "Oh, let's name our band after Jen's daughter."
Let's just call our band Jennifer Louise.
Do you not call your band after?
My band's called American Rachel.
Yeah, after a girl who's called
A girl who
Rachel.
I was chatting up once, and then
I never heard this.
yeah, you must have done.
No, I promise I
Yes, you
haven't.
have, because I was with
Yeah,
you.
you
We were
must have
speaking about
done.
it because I asked
Oh.
I
about
just
it.
don't remember. Sorry.
So you are
My band
just as bad.
is called American Rachel. Yeah, but she doesn't know. Oh, is that worse?
She does know.
Yeah, she doesn't watch.
And her name was Rachel. She was American.
Yes, and we were chatting and we were getting on really well. And then my mate, who happens to be the guitarist from American Rachel, came back from the toilet, hammered, drunk, and started going, "He's a YouTube celebrity," and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. Don't." And then she went, "Oh, what is it that you do on YouTube?" And I was like, "Wrestling." And like 5 minutes later, she was like, "I gotta go." I was like, "Ah, American Rachel." Never mind.
At least she didn't ask you if it was fake.
Yeah, true.
Props to
Yeah,
American
she
Rachel.
just knew she didn't want any part of it. She was
Yeah,
like, "No."
she's like, bye then. Anyway, yeah, so happy birthday to the Miz. Hope you're having a lovely day with the family. Sadly no longer with us, but would have been at 51, on the 9th. It was Eddie Guerrero.
Wait, would he have been 51? I'm trying to. work
Yeah, he
this
would have
out.
been
Yeah.
51. I did the maths. It's
Okay, yeah, fair
67,
play. Sorry,
yeah.
yes, I'm
I can't do
totally
my own age,
I
but I
forgot
can
one.
do other
I forgot,
people's.
He's one of my favourites ever.
Yeah, me too. Totes.
And more than likely, your favourite wrestler's favourite wrestler.
Oh.
It's not David Starr. He's just, he's just so, like, you watch his stuff back, and everything he did was perfect.
Yeah,
Wrestles
he's
like water.
absolutely.
He's so smooth.
Yeah.
He's absolutely perfect, and just some like amazing storylines. And I
Yeah.
loved all the stuff with China back in the day.
Yeah, that's
He was
how
really-
I
he was
remember
really
it.
Yeah,
all-rounder
that's
as
really
well, wasn't he?
that's really that kind of thing.
Because he was
that I remember.
charismatic
Sees
and
it.
good in
Yeah.
the ring. Yeah, he was such a good blend of it.
He was awesome.
Well, I remember the moment when I realised that he was really good as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really good match he had with Edge. I think on just SmackDown or something. There was like ladders involved and stuff. And he does the spot where like the two guys on the other side of the ladder, one jumps over and does like a
over, yeah,
sunset
yeah.
flip powerbomb. And he did it on Edge, and it was just like the
Perfect.
smoothest. Yeah, so good.
Oh man, gutted.
Such a
I know such a huge loss because it would be so interesting to see where he would be just now.
CM Punk has talked about him before because he wrestled a weird match with Eddie and Rey Mysterio before. It was a weird time where it was like before I think it might have been just after they'd left WWE or something.
Really?
Or there's a weird match out there where I think it's somehow in like a Mid-South or something. It's
Uh-huh.
like Eddie, CM Punk and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat.
What?
Yeah, and Punk's talked
That
about
sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know, and Punk's talked about it and he's been like, I realised then that he was so many levels above me, like
Yeah.
wrestling this guy, like he's just
Do
incredible.
you know that's nice though, like especially for somebody like Punk to
Yeah.
kind of admit that
Yeah, yeah.
and just be like, do you know what?
I remember we once did a video at What Culture, and we went back asking the wrestlers who they would most like to have a match with if they could, anybody. And literally, like, almost half of them said Eddie Guerrero was their top pick.
That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell you what, man, I want culture stories. I remember we all had to everyone was asking for some sort of like poll of like your top 5 favourite wrestlers.
remember
And I remember everybody I looked around did not put Eddie Guerrero, and I put Eddie Guerrero.
Really?
And Jamie Kennedy was like, oh my goodness. He was like, of course. He was like,
Yeah.
of course. And but as soon as he said it out loud, everyone was like, oh, actually.
He was in
good,
my
and
top
bumped a few
5.
people.
I put him down.
Did
It was
you?
in my top 10, I think.
You're in my top
No,
5.
in my top 5.
I remember a really interesting one. There were quite a few on there that I didn't think would be on there. But one of Damo's was Fit Finlay. I think he was his number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real match. I googled it to make sure I wasn't talking.
Is it on
yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Who was what
doing
promotion?
tonight.
IWA Mid-South.
Nice.
I don't know
Right,
what it
that's-
was.
Amazing. Never heard
That
that.
is amazing. Right, I'm Defos. Let's all watch it. It'd be nice. Okay, so moving on. Also on the 9th, happy 47th birthday to Stevie Richards.
I like Stevie Richards a lot.
Yeah.
Best super kick in the biz.
Oh, the Stevie kick.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Second to
And
Stevie
the
Aaron.
sexiest voice in the biz.
Second to Stevie Aaron again.
No, he was class. Like,
It sounds like Shawn Michaels. Stevie Richards.
oh yeah, he does.
Same
Yeah.
voice, yeah. He talks about he's on like the phone lines or something because they just put him on because Michaels wasn't available. They were like, just
Well,
pretend.
pretend
Something like that, yeah.
Never heard that
Yeah.
before. No, I love him. I think he's really underrated, and Right to Censor are one of my favourite
Yeah, they're great.
stables ever.
Love
I
it.
just
They're
thought
good.
I remember being so incensed when I was a kid. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
somebody would be able to get like they're about to undress or whatever,
Yeah,
and then they come
I
in with a
just
big
lo-
placard.
yeah.
You bastards.
Still one of my favourite wrestling costumes I've ever seen as well. It was a big group at a wrestling quiz that turned up as Right to Censor. And I legit thought they'd all just finished work. And I was like, all right, lads.
Was there an
and-
Ivory?
Yeah.
Was there a girl? Oh,
they did.
excellent.
They had, I was like, this is unreal, honestly.
Kind of the spirit of the Right to Censor lives on in the UK and you see the No Fun Police.
Yeah,
that's
I'm-
true.
I like Damien
Damien
Dunn.
Dunn.
No, you're not going to beat us and have fun, is what he says.
That's his catchphrase.
Anyway, happy birthday, Stevie Richards. Moving on. Oh, there's no 10ths. I'm sorry. Ooh. But on the 11th, we've got loads. Like, the 11th is a busy day in wrestling. Like, birthdays. No, but just like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
there's
maybe,
some big names
maybe
here.
it's something to do with the 11th. Like, if you're born on the 11th, you've got more chance of being a wrestler. Who knows? Anyway, would have been 73. Dusty Rhodes. Huge. What can you say?
Yeah.
One of these.
It's hard to think of new things to say about because
No,
he's just
we
class.
talk about him a lot.
Yeah,
and
he's great.
He's amazing. So sadly no longer with us, but would have been 73 on the 11th. Also on the 11th, Rikishi is 53.
It's a
Happy
bad man.
birthday.
Bad man.
Let's not focus on heel Rikishi.
No, you're
Let's
right.
go babyface
Yeah.
Rikishi because he
Yeah,
was great.
I'm still reeling on the nose thing.
Oh, the
Oh yeah, we
Usos.
talked about a couple of weeks ago.
I still
If he
think that's-
touches his nose twice, that's a nod to Jimmy and Jay Uso when he entered the ring.
I
Watch
love
out for
that.
any entrance he does. Yeah, no. People always talk about Edge and Christian, Hardy's, Dudley's. Too cool were up there for me when I was growing up, for sure. and their partnership with Rikishi.
Definitely,
was
I love
brilliant.
that.
One of my favourite Rumble moments ever, when they do the dance and then
Rikishi's-
almost swore then, crap cans them.
Crap cans
Them out of the
floor.
ring, and he's just like,
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
no,
You should have kept them
happy
with him as
birthday,
allies. He might have won.
Rikishi. Also on the 11th, happy 51st birthday to Taz.
Oh, that's a dodgy subject with Jack here.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's been blown out of proportion. No, do you not know this?
No, I do.
Yeah, it's fine then. It's not a big deal.
Talk us through
Is
it.
he not giving you nonsense?
I wrote and did a voiceover for What Culture once that was
Yeah.
like, I think it was talent raids or something, a
And he
video.
messaged you.
Where basically at one point I said, and a lot of the guys who WWF raided from ECW went on to have great careers, such as the Dudley Boys and Taz. Maybe not Taz. And some grass on Twitter tagged him in it and put, go to 5. No, it wasn't. Go to, like,
Oh my goodness.
so, like, go to 537 or whatever. Listen to what this guy said about you. And then got a message from him. Have you disrespected me in any way?
In any way. That's
In
my
any-
favourite part of that.
Well,
in
first
any
of all,
way.
first of all, there was a back and forth.
I love the fact they had to ask.
Yeah, just listen to the
I know.
content, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Click subscribe.
But first there was a back and forth on Twitter publicly, and then our friend James Dixon was like, I was like, I'm just not going to reply, and he was like, no, say this, and he was getting me to like,
Oh no, he was egging you on.
Yeah, so-
Cheeky.
I would like come up with a funny response, and Dixon would be like, yeah, do that, say that, and then I did, and eventually Taz DM'd me and said like, oh, it's all good, bro, just a work in it, and I was like, yeah, yep, cool, yeah, I'll pretend also that it's a work if you want, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when Tommy Dreamer like posted something, like one of this when it was daily. This show was
Yeah.
daily. I remember when he posted something being like fake news, and I was like, I
We got
was
something. What did we get? I
heartbroken.
remember this.
Do you remember it? Because it was basically the title of it was Dreamer retires, or
Yeah,
and
that
that
was
was it.
it.
And he was like, I've never retired, and it was like, well,
You
from
didn't
in ring
watch the
action,
video
yeah, like you've
properly.
not.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we quite say it, or we say it, but I was heartbroken. I was like, Tommy
Oh,
Dreamer's gonna beat me up.
No.
So
Heat
mad.
with Tommy Dreamer. But Taz was.
Here he is.
So I would actually be scared. But like, yeah, he's the only person that's ever.
I don't think I've ever upset anyone.
I've upset. A few didn't like me, but it's all right. But then a few really did like me, I think, as well. You know.
Yeah, Jimmy Havoc is a close
Yeah.
personal friend.
Jimmy Havoc's lovely to everyone, though.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah,
good
he's
lad.
the
Yeah.
loveliest.
He's a nice guy.
I love him.
Lovely voice.
Yeah, just such a nice.
I want you to do the next one in his voice, Jen.
I can no.
Next up,
It's Stephen Hawking.
I was gonna do it. I can't. I can do Jimmy Havoc.
No, you can do
I can
this.
do it. I can do it. Oh, I was
no,
gonna do
no.
it. Do you want to do
Oh,
it?
No,
Go on,
I'm
go for
talking
it.
about you. I was talking
next
about the
October
birthdays,
11th.
not Jimmy Havoc's voice.
Oh, I was gonna do it in Jimmy Havoc's
No,
voice. I'll do it.
Why are you
I'll
doing
do
it in Jimmy Havoc's
you wanna
voice?
do it
You
in
want to
his
do it in his voice?
I can't do it in his voice.
I can't do it. I can't. You do it then. If you're
I can't do this,
If
man.
you're so ring announcy, I can't do it.
I can do his.
Do the
his
rated R
edge.
thing.
I thought you
Yeah,
meant
do
do
the
it.
rated
I
R
thought you
thing.
meant do it in Jimmy
Sorry.
Havoc's voice.
You do it in Jimmy Havoc's voice then. Let's.
Well, we'll
Then
be
you
high.
say
do it
happy
in-
birthday first and what age he is.
Next up, happy birthday to Tony Kimmel. No, I can't.
Kimmel?
Tony Chimmel, sorry,
Kimmel.
Kimmel. Tony Kimmel.
Tony Chimmel is 51
that
on the
was one.
11th.
Love him and Justin Roberts. Are
What
like
an
two of my
amazing ring
favourites ever.
announcers.
Was it which
Yeah.
one was it who did the superstar? That was him.
That's
That's
him.
it.
Yeah, that's him. And he's like, oh.
And they brought him back just
For
to
Hall
do
of
that.
Fame.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was at Beth Phoenix.
Loved it.
It was
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix.
Did he actually
wasn't
love it?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's good.
really loved it.
Yeah,
Are you
he-
sure?
No, he did. Yeah.
You seem like you've been sarcastic and Edge hated it.
No.
No,
It's
he's
like,
like-
who was the other one? Punk got
Finkel.
the Fink back,
Yeah.
and Fink took about 4 hours announcing it
No,
when he comes out.
I
It's
don't like that because Punk's like clearly all right with it. Punk's like, come on, you old fingers. But Cole on commentary is a knob.
Oh, yeah,
he's like
yeah,
being a knob.
yeah.
And I was like, Fink's got
Fink's
a more
way
iconic
better.
voice than
Yeah.
you, Michael Cole.
Definitely. Happy birthday, Tony Chan.
Happy
You're
birthday,
good as well.
Tony.
Yeah.
And also on the 11th, happy 30th.
I can do his voice as well.
Who?
Trevor's.
Trevor.
Ricochet.
Hey, my name's Trevor. It's my
Yeah,
birthday.
it's Trevor.
It's Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Oh, that's just an American
Hey,
man,
Adam.
isn't it?
No, it's Ricochet's voice.
Okay.
Hey, it's Trevor.
That Trevor
That
man.
is just-
Listen,
American
listen,
voice,
to
isn't it?
listen to this Jesus pop. He said that once before he went out. Cocky
this-
bastard.
Did he say that?
Yeah,
Jesus
listen,
pop.
listen to this Jesus pop. And then he went out.
Did he actually?
To be fair, that
Fair
was a
play.
big pop when he went
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Well, but still, cheeky. But happy birthday, Ricochet. And then, oh no, there's no 12 or 13.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm going to be in trouble. Sorry,
What with
everybody.
who?
Oh, because the people get upset.
Oh.
People actually do like
You
mess-
get upset, Jen. Nobody else.
No, people message me
No
and they're
one-
like, who's on my birthday? And I'm like, oh, I don't
No
know.
one respects birthday fade more than Jen.
I Why do you all make fun of me for loving
What?
birthday so
No,
much?
it's
fine,
nice.
good.
It's
I
nice.
saw the reaction
Oh,
video,
no.
so don't
What
even.
happened?
It was more Ross-driven, that banter.
What's that? Oh, when we were slagging off the Scots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ross leads it all. We just follow. I'm just follow the bigger boy. I'm
But
I'll
like
do what he
Ross has
says.
never said anything like that to me.
Oh, he's behind the
Oh,
bar.
behind you,
You should
yeah.
do Taz. You should DM him. Have you disrespected me?
I love it. Anyway, the 14th. Happy would have been 71st birthday to Nikolai Volkov.
It's me spinning the weights.
Oh, that was
Oh,
Iron
yeah,
Sheik.
I was-
It was like,
Yeah, it was Iron
what
Sheik.
am I thinking?
It's alright. It was his tag partner. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it
I was like,
Yeah.
what are you up to?
Oh, no, it makes no sense. I'll do the
Plus, I
national
also
anthem.
thought you were just brushing your hair.
I don't know what to do
I
that.
really-
It did it.
When you watch,
Whatever.
I think it was WrestleMania 1 that they had the tag match on. Or
I
3. It's 1 or 3.
can't remember.
But I think it's 1 because Volkov and Sheik wrestled. Maybe the Can-Am Connection or something. I don't know. Volkov and Sheik have a match, and I remember thinking, "Wow, this is like the best thing on WrestleMania 1, the best non-iconic thing on
Yeah,
WrestleMania
yeah.
1." But it's like, oh, they're so good. They're such good heels. They're not like the smoothest, but they're like they start them out with the anthem,
characters,
and then Iron Sheik does his whole, Iran #1, Soviet Union #1. It's great. Yeah.
So,
See when he gave.
Patoy!
See when he gave Becky Lynch a pep talk on Twitter. Like, you must break Charlotte and take her belt or something. And Becky retweeted him, but I make her humble. It was really
It
It was really nice, yeah. Because you can tell Becky was just like, yeah.
I love it. Anyway, sadly no longer with us. But also on the 14th, happy 39th birthday to Stacey Keebler.
Yeah.
Who is looking unreal for me.
Yeah,
being
She hasn't
40.
aged, does she? No.
Not in the
I mean, I guess
slightest.
that's what. She's not with George Clooney anymore, is she?
No.
No.
But you'll get some of his Fountain of Youth powers, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Is he still sexy, Clooney?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
God,
a
yeah.
very quick
Much-
answer. Oh, yeah.
Much better with age.
Is he?
Like,
I'm more of a
Yeah.
Brad Pitt guy myself.
No,
but-
Brad Pitt
Yeah.
looks not great anymore.
No, but in their prime, more Brad Pitt. Why am I talking about this?
Why not?
Yeah, I
You
guess
can
so.
I
appreciate
like
somebody that's
Hugh
good
Grant.
looking.
Just because he was
Don't-
charming
yeah.
No, I'm
and
not
he's always
Nah,
befuddled.
what a
and,
smarmy bloke.
And yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
Oh,
Steve
yeah,
Buscemi,
old melty
yeah.
face, Steve Buscemi.
No, like actually, you look at pictures of Buscemi when he was young, and he's a
But I
babe.
worked out a modern equivalent for you.
Mackenzie Cook.
No, at Manchester, I said, what about Cillian Murphy
Oh yeah,
from
yeah,
Peaky
yeah,
Blinders? Because
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
he's like a
cracking.
good-looking
He's
Buscemi.
just like just full scale. Like no, the Bill Stuck Skarsgård. He's my new poster
I don't
boy.
realise.
That's the guy who played it.
Oh,
Wait, yeah, what,
right.
Pennywise?
Okay.
Mm.
All right, cool.
Yeah, no, I've seen him. Yeah,
What out
Unreal.
of...
he's weird looking. Like,
He's
yeah.
not weird.
Do you like
looking.
Napoleon
He is weird
Dynamite?
Yes.
In real...
I
yeah,
think
he's...
he's a good
Yeah,
looking,
fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fair. You know who I was looking at the other day? Who's really handsome?
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes in his younger
Yes,
days.
absolutely.
He's got that same sort of. What about Alan
Absolutely.
Rickman? Did you like him?
Oh,
He's like.
Alan Rickman. See, I used to do acting. Alan Rickman's the reason I got into acting.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
lovely.
nice.
Alan Rickman, I love him. Or well, sadly no longer with us,
Yeah.
but still. But yeah, Stacey Keebler, happy
Stacey.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Stacey.
The Duchess of Dudley Vale, go on. Yeah.
But that has been this week in wrestling. We will see you next week.
What a fun episode that was.
I like that we all wave
Sorry.
now.
Oh,
Hit
bloody
you
hell.
there.
Yeah, that's all right. I was gonna-
Aw. So that has been this week in wrestling. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so here. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, then please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and join us.